if you think you just need the legal advice, that's just one component. You need to understand how journalists work and their rules. You need to understand what's going on. Do you report to the SEC? I mean, all of those things have to
All
come
your
in.
stakeholder groups.
Right.
Then you have to take a look at, here are the options. And maybe fighting it is the right thing to do legally. But you better get advice for all those other quadrants, or else you're just looking at one thing.
Right, which makes me think of something I hear you and Kathy talk about a lot. So there's a crisis and there's a bad day. And a lot of the times, like, clients don't know the difference between the two. So talk to us about that.
Well, everyone, when things are going poorly, everyone thinks it's a crisis. The people who are smart enough to call early enough avert crisis, right? They're like, okay, we're heading down a path here. This is not good. And we get quite a few clients who call us very early on, and we're able to kind of look at it. A crisis, literally, you have to be able to look at it and say, this is an existential moment for the organization. We could really harm our reputation. We could lose business. We could lose customers, clients, employees could leave. That really kind of formulates what would be a crisis. We had one, Bess, I think you worked on this with me, but
Yeah,
you probably can't tell anyone or you'd have to kill them.
probably.
We had another one where it was a hospital system, and through an oversight, some things they were using to screen patients just never got upgraded. Even the inspectors who came to the hospital over a 2-year period didn't even catch it. And when they caught it, they were horrified, and it wasn't like it was bad stuff or they were missing things. They just didn't have the newest one in. But to them, it was a crisis, and we were like, no, you're having a bad day. And so let's get the new stuff in. Don't screen anybody else in the meantime. But then we had another client where they had 2 years of erroneous radiation treatments for cancer patients over a 2-year period. People died.
Under and over treatment.
Under and over radiated. People were injured. That was the worst crisis I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
Liz, you know this. We had to write a letter that needed to go out to everyone, whether it was survivors or cancer patients, to tell them what had happened. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I kept saying when we were putting it together, I was like, somebody's going to come home. It's going to be after 5 o'clock. They're going to be about to sit down to dinner, and they're going to open up this letter and go, my cancer was improperly treated, and that injury I have is from it. Or my wife who died 2 years ago. And I said, what are you doing? And so I'm writing that letter thinking, these are people who are going to get letters and they won't be able to sleep. And that's when we said, someone's got to answer the phone 24 hours a day.
Right.
Someone's got to take responsibility for it. You've got to be able to talk to them in person, face to face. I'm really proud of the work we did on that one.
Yeah.
They didn't get sued by one patient or one family because they handled it so well.